No submission, going home with zero submission, it really such a experience that we really don't want to experience it multiple times. And if someone is experiencing it, going home with zero submission, then there are something that you need to look into it and you need to mitigate it, because that is where all the success of recruiter depends, right? And in this video we are going to discuss about no submission, how you're going to react to that particular situations, and what exactly happens in the back end and that results in no submissions. This is Suman Pachigulla. I'm a best-selling author and a coach and mentor for IT recruiters. I'm on a mission to impact 5 million lives. Do subscribe this channel and join in my mission to impact peoples. Without doing any further delay, let's go and understand how exactly you are going to react to this situation. All right, because I understand how every recruiter goes through and what exactly happens with them. So now, first thing you need to understand that no submission is one side of a coin. So we are expected to put submissions, reach targets, make placements, but if you understand the law of the nature, if there is a submission, there will be no submission. If there are days with submissions, there will be days with no submission. So there is no point you will be thinking that something really gone wrong with you. If that is happening, yes, so you need to understand how you could come out of that situation faster. Why? Because that is where your career is. That is where you are gonna make more money. Because if there is no submission, how you are going to make placements? And sometimes it makes us feel that I have spent so much of time at work looking for a submission, but I did not do anything, and definitely I don't know where exactly I'm going to end. Now the thing is, you have to avoid that zero submission at any cost, because you are giving your attention to your work. Now when it is resulting of zero submission, now you need to understand that what exactly could have resulted in this, and use that as an example or experience and start working next day. Because the day which has gone, you might have tried well, but still there are days which just don't work on our favor. But if you learn from that day, and if you're going to put that to the next day, you will definitely able to make submissions, and that may result in placements. So first thing you got to remember about your attitude, how you are feeling about that. Do not ever think of you being failure. Just think that maybe that the day is just like that. Leave it to the day. All right, because the moment you take stress, the moment you get your emotional attachment to that day where you did not have no submission, then what is that going to happen is it is going to build an unnecessary self-talk, negative talk. It's keep on come to your, this will come to your mind, and you may end up wasting another day because you had been thinking of the same thing every day. Generally, when I used to go home with zero submission, and you may able to relate to me that the whole day after I wake up in the afternoon, because I was working in the night shift, I could not able to enjoy my day, because I see after a few hours I have to go to work and there will be a meeting. Again, I have to tell what happened yesterday. And that was one of the painful things, that whatever I explain, sometimes it will be considered, sometimes it won't, because they know how I used to perform. So it's all about, even your managers, your leads, and your owners, CEOs, everyone understand that there will be no submission day. So do not ever think that you are the one who doesn't have any value, or you are the one who is not good for, you are not good for nothing. All right, now first thing you got to understand, okay, just it is the day, but I put my efforts and that did not work. Now let's go and understand about what could be resulting no submission. Might be you are ignoring that, so you should not be ignoring anymore. As you start your day, accept it. Yesterday I did not have any submission, and today I'm going to give my best, and for sure I'm going to end up with good submissions, and I'm going to match the previous submission as well. So when you are going to do that, The moment you are going to end the day, meaning if today you are ended up with zero submission, before you go to sleep, sit down for a moment and accept the day. Show gratitude to what you have. Give thanks to the creator that thank you very much for giving me such a beautiful life, family. I have a house, I have a shelter, and I have a job where I can give my skills and get money. I'm so thankful for that, and I expect my day, my coming day, to be the best day, and it will be the best productive day for me. Now, when you sleep with this positive attitude, you're going to wake up with positivity. All right, and when you are starting your new day, you know that yes, this day is going to be most productive day, and you are going to rock on and go with that emotion, because the frequency that you vibrate, the emotions that you carry with you, that is going to reflect outside. You are the reflection of your world which you are facing or experiencing. So if you are experiencing bad outside, if you are experiencing uncomfortable or negativity outside, it means something is going on inside subconsciously which you have not noticed. At that point of time, stop for a moment. Do not think of anything else. Just close your eyes and say that I'm so grateful that I have this life. I am so healthy. I have a job. I have parents. I have kids. I have spouse. If you have, I have electronics. I have money. I have everything. So I don't have to worry anymore. Only the thing is, this just day is not supporting me. But I know I will be a winner. I know I have done it better. I know I have won so many things in my life. Yes, and this day I'm going to give my best and I'm going to make submission. Then you just go for the day. All right. And once you are positive, then you are going to realize and see things in a manner that is going to be helpful for you. The more you get into negativity, whatever comes on your way, you could not able to recognize, because you are only fighting with your own talks and own mind, with your own comprehension and your own judgments, that okay, why this happened to me? If it continues, what is there going to happen to me? How can I come out of it? Others are making submission, I'm not able to make submission. What's wrong with me? What should I do? So many things goes on where there is no answer for that. All right, so thank you for whatever you have, show the gratitude and accept that the day was like that, and you have learned the lessons that all right, you have to be patient when things happen like this, and you are going to give your 100% for the day. All right, now let's understand the possibilities why generally no submission happens. Here you might be working on a niche role, or you are not working on a niche role. Okay, if we working on a niche role, meaning the niche becomes on skills or anything that could be, so you need to prioritize before you working on job, because you should know what sort of assignments you are taking. And once you get a job, if you found out that's a niche job, then you need to understand, okay, what is the freshness of the job? The requirement that you got, is that a new requirement, or it has been in the market for so long time, or where exactly the freshness stands? You gotta check with your manager, or you need to ask someone who has given you the requirement. Is it a fresh requirement, or is it something in the market for pretty long time? Once you understood it, it will give you some idea. Then what is the rate? What is the pay? Then location, duration, client and the rigid process, meaning if that is a niche skill, niche is something that rare to find, right? So if the job is been in the market pretty long time, you may end up with no submission sometimes. If the rate is challenging, if client is looking for a .NET architect at $40, obviously you know what kind of challenges you're gonna face. If the location and duration is such a remote, still you may not people. If the client is someone people don't like to work with, or they have some rigid process to go through, still that makes the position or submission tough. Availability of profile in your sourcing portal. Now after you understand that if you are not getting submission, so it could fall in any of these. All right, it could be a niche, it could be older, the pay rate might not be according to the job, the location, duration, something is people not interested. Maybe your client has a rigid process or the client environment is not good. And now, if you understand wherever you are sourcing profiles, all right, so are there profiles available or profiles not available for the requirement? All right, so there could be many reasons for someone to not having submission, but these are the majority. Now when you went to the portals, you experience that people are already been contacted for the same job, then possibility that you may not have more submissions, and profiles are not available, meaning the kind of expectation the client has, and you are not getting any profiles, then it may end up in no submission. In these cases, what you need to understand that before working or during spending time on working with the requirement, you need to understand that it is going to be a tough day. It is going to be a tough day, and I have to spend a lot of time to get somebody else, and I will not be surprised if I do not get a submission for this, because that is what the reality is. You are not a superman, you are not a superwoman that someone else could not able to find anything else. Even the client is struggling to find somebody else through so many vendors, and if you think you are someone going to get 10 profiles for that job, that is foolishness. You can watch for one that profile, and you may have to struggle for that, but prior to that you need to accept it, and you have to make yourself prepare for what sort of assignment you are taking over and what kind of challenges you might be facing. All right, and once you understand that, it will give you a clarity where exactly you are going to end up for the day and how much of time you should be spending. If your requirement is very old, the rate sucks, the location people don't want to work, the duration is that something is not acceptable for people, your client has very rigid and stubborn mindset and they want to hire with certain things. Now in such cases, you got to prioritize your day so that you will allocate time for this kind of requirements. At the same time, you will work on other requirements where you will not end up with zero submissions. Right? This is very much important. If you keep working on the same requirement for a whole day, there is no doubt that you end up with zero submissions. And if you start doing the same thing tomorrow, the same thing is going to happen. Now, in these kind of requirements where there are less candidates or people already been contacted, so you need to be using different techniques and strategies to reach out to people and spending few hours of your time on this to check whether anyone could be interested. All right, and now at the same time you got to allocate majority of the time to a particular job where you could be able to work faster and get submission, so that your time will be compensated. Just because you have a job, you have a requirement, and you have a rate and client doesn't mean the whole day you spend on it and go home with zero submission. That is not acceptable. Only if you have only that one job, only this job that you have for the whole day, you do not have anything, then there is no excuse, right? Okay, that is what it is. You spend 9 hours, 10 hours and still things don't work and you have nothing to do, then what is that going to do? That is how it is going to happen. Now, if you are working on a niche role, you are not working on a niche role, but still you are ending with no submission, then there is a problem. But why it happens? Because no submission or a submission is a happening of multiple actions, multiple steps or multiple things coming together results in this one outcome, right? The same way, let's understand, if you do not have a niche skill, then what stopped you for going home with making submissions? Now, freshness of the job. Your job is not niche, but it is in the market for longer period of time. If this is not longer period of time, it's a new job, but still you did not have submission, could that be a rate issue? Is that be a location issue? Will that be the client or the rigid process, or what is that other problem? All right. So here we are not talking about niche skills, but we are talking talking about general requirements where it is not so tough to find people, but still you are going with zero submission, then you need to understand and compare with the freshness, rate, location, and the client details. All right, if everything is fine, now the second question comes in: are there profiles available in the portal or profiles not available in the portals? Though it could be easy requirement and looks it's a fresh requirement, rate is good, but there are no profiles, then what you could be doing, right? Now, if profiles available, still you are going with no submission, then you need to understand, are candidates replying to your email whomever you sent email, or they did not? If they replied, still you went with zero submission, it means you got to find out your pitching and closing is not proper. You need to improve in that. If people replied, if people not replied, then you need to understand that you might be targeting wrong candidates. You may say, no, I have targeted right candidates. Then why they did not reply? This could be the reason. You are not able to grab enough attention. Your email could not able to show them that yes, they need to reply and connect with you. Then you need to work on the strategies, how you're going to build your email approach better. All right. And now, after email, you need to look at, still you are going with no submission for a good requirement. Then the question comes in, are candidate answering to your calls? There could be yes, there could be no. If candidates are answering your call and still you are going with zero submission, it means your pitching that is not effective, and you have to refine it in a way so that they will stay in the call and you will be closing the candidate. All right, maybe that is the reason you might be sounding like a customer care, or you might be so needy, or I don't know, maybe they felt in a certain way that I may not trust this person. That could result in no submission as well. And people are not answering your call. It means, have you left a proper voice message? And have you attempted multiple times? Meaning giving a gap. Sometimes what happens, if somebody doesn't answer the call, there is a tendency that recruiters call multiple times within an hour or 30 minutes. So you know, right, what is that going to happen when you see multiple missed calls in your phone? Either you feel that there would be something urgent, or what you will feel, it is a spam, right? So don't let it happen. So when your candidates are not answering, ensure you leaving a voice message telling about the benefits why they should return your call, and do not explain the job totally in one call about the job description, client, everything. All right, do not do that. You got to do that when they connect with you, because there is a purpose for everything what you do. An email you sent, email for a reply or a call back. If you're leaving a voice message, that is for a call back, that is not for job understanding. So you got to take one step ahead. So you need to refine here. And how many times really you called on that day? Did you call in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the late evening? Did you try to send a message? How did you send a message? Did you try to reach in LinkedIn, or how did you approach? Your approach plays a major role in candidates' attention towards you. If you are doing this as you have been doing since long time, then there are possibility that you end up with zero submissions or less productivity. That's the reason I say the old method of recruiting has dead. You got to have a new approach, new methods, new frameworks in order to increase your response level through the way you send emails. At the same time, when candidate calls you, how you are closing them on the call, that is a skill that you need to learn. All right, now I hope it makes sense to you when you understood about the different steps or different circumstances where people end up with zero submissions. If you are falling in any of these categories, so you got to understand that how you are going to re-navigate yourself towards other things that could not end up on no submissions. All right, so if you found this helpful, let me know in the comment box, and if you want this mind map, put that your email there and I'll share it with you. All right, take care and God bless.